statistics, about 28% of U.S. students in grades 6 through 12 experience bullying. That is almost 1 out of 3 students in America.
The definition of bullying by StopBullying.gov defines bullying as unwanted aggressive behavior among school-age children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. Behavior is repeated or has potential to be repeated over time.
Victims of bullying can suffer from long-term effects such as shyness, headaches, panic attacks, depression, and nightmares. Bullying also affects students' performance in school. And along with the victims, the bullies will also be negatively affected. Bullies are more likely to abuse alcohol and drugs, get into fights, drop out of school, and abuse family members as adults. And children and adolescents who engage in bullying have consistently been found to have lower empathy from Caribbean et al.
Victimization by peers has also been linked to illness, school avoidance, poor academic performance, increased fear and anxiety, and suicidal ideation, as well as long-term difficulties including depression and peer harassment.
A survey was given to 269 students at an unknown college, and participants answered a questionnaire by answering 5 through 1, with 5 being strongly agree and 1 being strongly disagree. And the data suggests that students who are bullied in high school and or junior high school continue to be victimized, such as called names, excluded from class activities, physically abused, etc. in college. So whether a consequence of being bullied in high school, in junior high school, or in college, the victims feel alone and isolated, they find it hard to make friends, and they feel that no one will listen to them while in college. And the Center for Disease Control in 2011 reported bullying continues to occur at all levels within the educational environment. This study provides supporting data indicating bullying initiated in middle/senior high school years continues in other educational settings. And the state of Massachusetts reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association that bullying continues today at various levels within the school years. This study supports that bullying continues beyond school years into either institutions of higher education or into the workplace.
According to American SBCC, 28% of students in grades 1 through 12 have experienced bullying. Generally, kids who have been bullied are perceived as weak, are depressed, and have low self-esteem. Looking at all the effects bullying can cause, there needs to be a way to prevent it.
All right, so the question that we came up with was how can bullying in schools be stopped? And our thesis is bullying can be prevented by having schools talk about the problem more often, incorporating better ways for students to turn in bullies, and having a bit more security for siblings. All right, so our first claim is schools should talk about bullying more often. And the first thing I want to say is that both the victim and bully can sue the school for different reasons if it's not documented and reported. The victim can sue for the school knowing but doing nothing, or just for damages, and the bully can sue for silencing or hindering his speech. And 1 out of every 5 students reports being bullied according to the National Center for Educational Statistics. And there are 2 types of bullying. There is regular bullying, which is bullying over clothes, shoes, etc. And then there's harassment bullying, which is over things like gender, race, and religion.
36% of bullying victims talked to a teacher, and the other 64 did not. It's been shown, research has shown that talking to victims, like just talking to school, helps decrease the overall bullying, especially if you do it at a younger age.
Alright, so our second claim is there needs to be better ways to turn in bullies. An online reporting system can bring greater awareness to what's happening on and off campus that an administrator cannot see, and this was a quote by Joe Braze. And to add to this, a large portion of students who report bullying are not the bullied, but bystanders concerned for the bully. And it's whether online or traditional paper, pencil and paper, there needs to be some level of documentation to the bullying so that the school can sue, because if they don't have it, then there's nothing they can do.
There are many things a teacher can do to create a safe teaching environment for their students, such as creating a set of rules in the classroom, often speaking about the topic in class and getting involved.
When bystanders intervene, bullying stops within 10 seconds, 57% of the time, and according to a study by psychologist David P. Farrington, only 20 to 30% of students are bullied reported to an adult.
While many bullying prevention programs address the role of the bystander, they address that in many peer groups that might be the norm.
Alright, so our third claim is schools need increased security. And every school needs to have security for different problems that a school faces. For bullying or fighting, you would need security cameras, duress alarms, which are panic alarms, and whistles. Which I don't know why you need whistles, but the other two are pretty good. And and a dress code, which means that you wear the same, can eliminate bullying about clothing, jewelry, and shoes.
According to the National Center for Education Statistics, 81% of public schools include the use of security cameras.
National fear and crime levels have gone down in schools with higher security, and it's also led to other benefits such as higher attendance rate, lower drug and alcohol possession, and assault on school employees drop.
Alright, so our solutions,
We have four main solutions to prevent bullying from happening. First solution is for schools to spend more money to get better security with the financial help of parents and students. Another solution is for school staff to be trained on how to react when bullying occurs. A third solution is schools can incorporate school-wide programs to stop bullying. And finally, our last solution is for teachers to communicate with their students more often.
Alright, so our first solution is my solution. It's an economic solution. It would be to have students or parents pay a little extra for special things, or or for like the original payments for the school, or to have a fundraiser to get more money to get extra security and support staff. And in my article, I don't remember what it was, New York City will spend $8 million in a reporting system set to launch in 2019, and for a lot of states, this would be beneficial if they did have a bullying reporting system or some other kind of thing other than going to pencil and paper, because it would be a great way to deal with bullies without the bullied having to be called a tattletale.
Another solution would be the school staff needs to be trained on how to deal with bullies and about their school policies on bullying. So examples would be one-day training sessions, staff meetings, or teaching through model preferred behavior.
Another way we could help is to establish more school-wide programs that stop bullying, including rules typically overlooked in most current systems, including like parents and bystanders. Susan and Swear, a researcher on the topic, has said that social ecological framework helps because it addresses each part of the student's social cycle.
And our last solution would be teachers communicating with their students more often. When teachers have open communication with their students, they will feel more open to talk with them. Establishing a safe environment for a student by a positive relationship with their teachers can play a huge role in a student's academic and social development. Peter Riddle has argued that positive relationships with teachers and students become game changers for students.
All right, stay there.
We didn't.
Stay there.
Yeah, we can do it.
All right. Aisha, give one specific way that your thinking changed as a result of learning about Elijah's findings. Elijah, in the future, what change would you make to your group norms in order to improve the team presentation?
Maybe just practice more so it flows better.
Okay. Rusty, describe how the content of the team presentation was changed as a result of your group discussion.
Well, we kind of stated that we only had one big like graph to show like all these numbers, and so we kind of had to go and find more of like the big graphs instead of all like the pictures about like bullying that were more show instead of like actual facts.
Cole, reflecting on your colleagues' work, which one had the greatest impact on your overall understanding of the problem?
Most he started the topic more, got all the claims down, so kind of led us in that direction with the project.